So there's been a lot of social scientific research
Sure.
into political polarization, okay? And so there are different factors. So people align with the political party because of their allegiance to the community, right? So if you're born in a certain neighborhood and that neighborhood is Republican or Democratic, you're much more likely to share their political beliefs, okay? So community is one very important factor. Another important factor is the decline in institutions of authority, right? So if people no longer believe in the media, if people no longer believe in the government, if people no longer believe in science, uh, in schools, then they're forced to rely on their tribalism, right? They're forced to rely on the people around them. And that makes them much more anxious to adopt the opinions of the people around them, okay? So the breakdown of institutions of authority, right? Because remember, like only 30 years ago, people would watch the news, NBC News, ABC News, and just agree with everything. And NBC News and CBS News, they were meant for national consumption. So they were trying to create a broad national consensus for people. But now no one actually watches mainstream news except maybe like these baby boomers. But young people get all their news sources from social media. Okay, so that's a breakdown of institutions of authority. The third thing is the rise of social media, where people now are in their own social media bubbles. But the worst thing is how these algorithms are designed, right? So you look at Facebook, if you look at Twitter, they know what they want to do is try to create as much engagement as possible. And they want this engagement to be intense, what they call intensity. And the best way to do that is to provoke strong emotions in people, especially anger, fear, and hatred. And so social media just brings out the worst in people. And because you're in a bubble, these emotions are reinforced. And so what gets attention on social media are not this objective analysis, what's going on. What gets attention on social media are just these stupid feuds between influencers, right? These stupid fights that break out between these different influencers, right? So that's a third factor. And the fourth factor is like we don't actually spend that much time with other people, okay? We live too much, we spend too much time online. We are too lonely. And so it's very easy to reinforce our own prejudices about the world. I mean, if we were part of civil society more, if we went bowling with people who are outside our political affiliation, then we've been much more open-minded. And then of course you have the growth of cancel culture on both the left and the right, where um, people are encouraged to just disparage people that you don't agree with, right? So I think there's this amazing statistic where 90% of women will not even date a man from a different political party, right? That's amazing to think about how like just you could be the most attractive guy in the world, but if you are a Republican and I'm a Democrat, I'm not going to date you. All right. So there's a lot going on, but this political polarization, it's been going on for a long time. It's going to be very, very hard to fix.